Today I'm making a cheesy beef and potato casserole. It's one of those slow Sunday meals that is pure comfort on a plate. You won't regret it and you've got to try it. I'm using russet potatoes, but you can use Yukon Gold and leave the skin on. You just want to make sure to use a starchy potato. I'm using a mandolin to slice my potatoes about 1/4 inch thick, but if you don't have a mandolin, you can definitely just use a knife. Add your potatoes to a large pot with some cold water, and you're gonna add in some beef bouillon just to add some flavor and bring that to a boil, and you'll let that cook for about 5 minutes. While the potatoes are coming to a boil, we can prep our onions, and I'm using half of a white onion. Once the potatoes have been boiling for about 4 to 5 minutes, you can set them aside. We just want them to be par cooked. And you're going to heat a large pan on medium-high heat and add in your ground beef. You can also use ground turkey or ground chicken. I'm using a lean ground beef. Once you've broken up your ground beef into smaller chunks and it's developed some color, you can go ahead and add in your chopped onions, and you're going to saute that for about 2 to 3 minutes or until it's aromatic and translucent. I'm adding in some garlic powder, black pepper, salt, Italian seasoning, and some smoked paprika, and letting that bloom for about a minute on medium heat. Add in 2 crushed garlic cloves, and I have another 2 crushed garlic cloves that I crushed beforehand, but I'm adding that to my white sauce after. And I'm also adding in 1.5 cups of tomato sauce or marinara. Set your ground beef aside, and I just rinsed the pan to make my white sauce, and I've got 1/2 cup of butter, which I'm melting down, and then I'm going to add in the reserved 2 cloves of garlic and saute that for about 30 seconds, making sure not to make it too golden because you don't want to burn the garlic. And then I'm adding in the heavy cream and let that come to a slow simmer. Add in Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and black pepper. I'm not adding in any salt yet, just because I want to taste the sauce after I add in the cheese. And I'm adding in some softened cream cheese and just making sure to break apart those chunks until it's a nice and smooth consistency. Turn the heat off and slowly grate in about 1 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano. You want to make sure to grate it yourself just so that it doesn't clump. A lot of the cheese that you buy in stores have like some coating agents, and it makes the sauce kind of grainy. Start with a layer of white sauce to just kind of line the bottom of the baking pan, and don't worry if it looks like it's a little bit clumpy. That will all even out once you bake it in the oven, and you'll develop this really nice creamy cheesy sauce. Once the sauce is down, you'll put a layer of your potatoes. For the next layer, just add in 1/2 of your ground beef and make sure to just kind of spread it across. It doesn't have to really cover the full surface, but you just want to get some meat all across this layer. You'll then add in about 1 cup of finely shredded mozzarella cheese. And once you're done with that layer, we add in another layer of our white sauce. And again, it doesn't have to be all the way across. You can use your spoon to kind of spread it. It'll melt into the cheese and create this beautiful cheesy layer. And once we're done with that, we repeat with the layer of our potatoes again. And then you can top it off with the rest of your meat and just spread that evenly across the potatoes. I switched up the order here. Instead of doing cheese and then sauce, I did sauce and then cheese, but honestly, you can do it either way. It's gonna melt down and be delicious. Added another layer of that cup of finely shredded mozzarella. Then we're gonna do a layer of potatoes, the rest of our sauce, and to top it off, I did a blend of mozzarella and Parmesan cheese. I spray a little cooking oil on my aluminum foil so that the cheese doesn't stick. And you'll go ahead and bake this in your preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 35 minutes. And then I broiled it for about 4 minutes, and you can just go ahead and check the potatoes and make sure that they're nice and tender. And I let mine rest on the counter for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then you can just go ahead and dig right in, and it's so delicious. You've got all that layer of cheese and beef and that cheesy sauce. It's amazing. And you can go ahead and serve it as is, or if you want to make it a little pretty, you can top it with some freshly chopped parsley. This is such a comfort meal. I love to make this on like slow Sundays when I'm looking for comfort on my plate, and this is the epitome of it. Look, got some cheese pull. Let's try this. That is cheesy, and then I love the tang from the tomato sauce, the layer of cheese, the layer of potatoes. I love potatoes. And it's like this potato meets a lasagna, meets a au gratin. Chef's kiss. If you guys try it, let me know in the comments. Bon appetit.